Hello, welcome to Arcadecast, the best place to chill with friends getting game goodness each and every Monday. My name's Don Blunt. Joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here and excited to remember what day of the week stuff comes out.
When does stuff come out?
Monday or
When
Wednesday.
does other stuff come out?
Wednesday.
Yeah, when else?
Thursday also.
Yeah,
depending on whether we edit it quickly or not.
Wow, there you go. Elsie, you can imagine.
At least on this show, the flubs like that just stay in. They don't get edited out, so it looks like the person's professional and has their shit together, you know? Unlike other shows that potentially...
Like any show that Ash hosts, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally anything Ash hosts.
Because I know the listeners appreciate not hearing the
No,
flubs.
but you see, your problem is that you've built the way you host podcasts around your ability to edit them out. So you
to remember where I need to
So
cut
you just
stuff.
make more mistakes because you just don't know.
I don't power through.
The flow. Yeah.
It's true.
Anyway, do you want to talk about Ash's hosting ability for podcasts, Kieran? Or like this this week on the show, got a fair bit to talk about actually. So there's a bunch of news. There was a Ikusa event. Nintendo Switch 2 might be a thing. Shocking. Australia's doing a bunch of things, and then I've put up a couple of reviews, a couple of previews. Bim Bam Bob's Uncle. Let's talk about all that. Starting with the Plucky Squire. Me and Ash talked about it about a month ago, I think it was, when we did the preview of it. Full game is out now. I very much enjoyed it. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And I said, I've hit the video game lottery over the last couple of weeks. I've most recently reviewed Astro Bot, plug, and now I get to tell you all that the Plucky Squire is another magical must-play for 2024. Inspired by the page turns for the game setting, this is one where you won't want to put the controller down or the adventure to end. So this is, for people who don't know, this is published by Devolver Digital. It is made by All Possible Futures, Australian developer. It is the game in which you play a character, Jot, in a storybook, and they, at the start of the game, the villain of it's a children's book, should clarify, children's storybook. At the start of the game, you're going on a usual adventure, and then the big bad of the book, Humgrump, discovers that he's a villain within the book somehow. I don't know, who cares? Don't think too much about these things. And then because he finds the book within the book's universe, again, don't think too much about these things. He gets discovers the world in which they live and pushes Jot. Pip, where did I get Pip from? Oh, Pip's the mouse. Sorry, Jot out of the book. So from that point on throughout the game, you sort of have a cross between jumping in and out of the book on this merry little adventure, trying to put things right. Because the idea is basically if Pip, the mouse has got me. If Jot is unable to save the day and stop the bad guy, then the kid will lose hope in this book, and that could alter the future
of fiction.
Future of everything, because we know from the bookworm, which is a real worm in books, that the kid grows up to be a good author. So if we don't want to,
becomes non-transphobic J.K. Rowling.
Fucking, dream. The game is a lot of. It is really fun. It's I think, as we talked about in the preview, and the game's 10 chapters long. We played 4 chapters for the preview. I will say those first 4 chapters are definitely the shortest. Like, it just goes, it flies along, and then there's some that are a lot longer. I think all up it was, I think it's between 6 to 8 hours, which again
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad, and totally depends on how much you're doing messing around with stuff and whatever else. Like,
Searching.
Yeah, I mean,
and how good at puzzles you are.
That too. That will also affect it. I was attempting, because I'm obviously playing it, pre-release. I'm trying to get all the trophies as I go. So I quickly looked at trophy list and then saw some very vague things that were like. So, for example, Ash, the making that toad in the preview period that you can make it big, even though you don't need to. That's looking on the ledge. That's a trophy, for example, right?
Yep.
So there's things like this, because the way the game works is when you jump back into the world and you're in the storybook and you're playing as Jot, You can, in certain parts where words are written on the storybook, you can hit those words, knock them off, carry those words somewhere else and replace them. So the easiest example I listed in my review, and I think I probably gave last time, which is at the very start of the game, they do the easiest one, which is just the gate is closed. Okay, we'll knock off the word closed, go find the word open. The gate is open. Open swings the gate. Now, as you progress further and further into the game, these get a little bit more complicated than just chasing close to open. However, there is it's a one word. It's a one way solution. There are little Easter eggy sort of things, which is what I'm talking about with this frog, where you can carry a word to something to get a little a funny bit. Like, can I put this word here and will it? Oh, it does that. Haha, very funny. But as far as the solutions to things, it's a puzzle. It's not a I mentioned in my review.
It's not creative.
I mentioned Scribblenauts in my review, which was a Nintendo DS game that had 2 games where you just wrote in words randomly and those things would sort of drop into the game. Really cool. And obviously that was more endless possibilities. But this is more just find the correct solution. It's still fun, but it's not open-ended. Way to go. Also, just so you know, Ash, those spiders come back, or the bugs come back. I'm sorry. If you hated the sneaking section in the first 2 hours of the game, yeah, stealth section comes back. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
But that's
he's got a sword. Then why can't he just kill them?
Spoilers.
It would break the continuum between the 2 worlds if you took a life.
Maybe, yeah. My biggest negative, I would say, because I have mostly just positives. It's a beautiful looking game. It has this magical story that's inspired by the simplicity of like children's storybooks. It's got all these like random one-off mini games that it throws throughout the whole game. They're all fun and they last like a few seconds, and you're like on to the next thing. Each section of the game has its own thing. I liked it all. The only thing I'd say, in the preview period again, we talked about how it has this really cool part where you go talk to a very obviously Magic the Gathering inspired card, do this little mini game with them, get a bow off this elf, carry the elf, you then get the crossbow or whatever back in the storybook after going out and finding this Magic the Gathering inspired elf card in the real world. Nothing as cool as that for the rest of the game, in my opinion. Okay. Like, there's no... You come back out to the...
You don't feel like it ramped up.
No, that's my... Like, you come back out to the real world and like basically between every chapter, it felt like, to do something. And like there's little interactions with other things and kind of some other random characters that you interact that are from other properties or stuff in this world. But none of them felt as cool as that idea. I felt like,
Is it only be cool because it's a Magic the Gathering card, which is a thing that...
No, I just think it was a cool idea that, I was like, maybe you'll jump into other books, comic books. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, just it felt like a little bit of a missed opportunity. But it's really cool. A really cool game. I would highly suggest it. It's free to play on PlayStation Plus.
PlayStation Extra, yeah. Or Premium.
All right, let's go into some news for this week. Let's start with this one. The Australian government announces loot box and gambling content classification changes, writes Books.net. The Australian government has announced changes to the way video games are classified in Australia, starting from September 22nd. Hey, that's today. Two new rules as of recording. Sorry, two new rules will apply to games that include in-game purchases with element of chance, such as loot boxes, and games that feature simulated gambling, like casino games. The first change is that any game with in-game purchases involving an element of chance will now be rated a minimum of M, not recommended for children under 15 years of age. This will include games like FC25, Apex Legends, obviously, but even innocuous titles like Animal Crossing Pocket Camp would fall under the classification. The second change relates to simulator gambling. Any amount of simulator gambling will automatically earn a game an R18 plus rating, restricted to adults 18 years and older. For example, games like Pokemon Red and Blue, which feature the game corner with slot machines, or even Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics, which includes Texas Hold'em Poker, would receive an R18 plus game rating. However, a game featuring a non-interactive slot machine or other casino-like setups would not be affected. Only interactive machines count under this rule. Now, I know you're going to be like, but surely they would just give those like Pokemon a pass. And I'm sure there's not. I'm sure this isn't as we see things get rated and for content and then re-evaluated or whatever. But what do we, in general, what do we think of the changes, especially when it comes to stuff like the, anything involving an element of chance now at a minimum of M. So even for like FIFA, or not FIFA, sorry, FC 25. Kieran?
I think it's fair. I think it's the same. Like it's the same way as like I think it should be like this same kind of thought process should be given to any TCG that has booster packs. Like we've had the discussion in the past. Like anything that has that random minimum of chance that you're just buying, whether it's physical or digital booster packs to unlock things, or loot boxes that have a random chance to unlock, like that stuff, it's crap. Like it shouldn't. Not it's crap, but like it should be treated differently, and it should have some kind of like maybe not the M rating. Maybe there should be another rating for them, or maybe it should be. This is the thing, right? It frustrates me that the PG rating is what it is because PG, I think, in the actual definition of parental guidance, is like perfect for this. If you're wanting to aim this at kids and do if your aim for this is to focus on those that negatively affect children and adolescents.
They're both changes that affect obviously aimed at kids.
Yeah, for kids, right? So PG would be perfect, but the problem is in our society, and maybe this is just a thing for me, but like I know looking at PG was a thing that I was, as a child, was often shown things as PG. PG was okay. It wasn't until you got to the M rating that, people would raise an eyebrow and start questioning, should you be showing this to a child? Which is just not how the PG rating should work. Well, so, yeah, I feel like M for mature, like, I feel like that maybe shouldn't be used, or maybe they should be finding another way to show this or another rating added into it, or, already they do the little thing that's like, on the side of the rating, it says, I guess for M and MA15, it'll show like nudity, foul language, blah, 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 blah. Like, all you think they'd have to do is make sure it's an edition of well, it's
definitely going to say that though. Like, it's going to say M, and then in the box it'll be like chance, well, whatever the wording is going to be, I guess, or whatever.
But that's the thing that's the thing where like your example is FC 25, whatever. That to be an M-rated game is going to be fucking weird, right? Like it's a game of it's football / soccer, like it's just sport. There's nothing dangerous
pretty rowdy
about
out there. Pretty dangerous.
There's nothing obscene. There's nothing like this is going to get put in the same kind of. This is going to get put right. So this will get put in the same rating as like say like a WWE game that is actually fighting and is actually like. Has the potential for replicatable moves or actions that could be replicated by a child that's going to cause injury and harm. Like that makes sense for an M. A WWE game, a wrestling game, or a UFC game, or anything like that makes complete sense. M. But if you're going to give something an M just for the sake of it's the loot boxes, I just feel like there is a better way to do this, and it just continues to be the way the Australian government or like we seem to do things. Which is like you'll have a great idea and they'll get like 50% the way through thinking it through, and then somebody will go, "That's good enough. We'll go with that." Instead of going that extra 50% and talking through it and properly putting into place a proper actionable plan.
Ash.
Optically, it looks good. It's going to make zero difference.
Also true, yes.
What parent is not going to buy their kid EAFC? Are they really going to be looking at the rating? They go, no, this is a soccer game. Here you go, Jimmy.
It'll be the ones.
Leave me alone.
Look, this is the same thing. Is that as I've always told in the past, like it was talking like GTA 4's release, like it was you had to, like, kids would be bringing in their parents to buy them GTA 4, and the parents would have no fucking clue what they were getting into or what they were buying, and they're buying it for their kid anyway. Like, yeah, I feel like there is a lot of that sort of stuff that just doesn't have any impact whatsoever.
Yeah. Which is interesting to think why that's the case. Because, you know, like we said, like, well, in my mind, it was a big deal to go see an M-rated movie. But, you know, not a big deal for a kid to be playing an M-rated video game. Although I've been to many M-rated movies where children are seated when they really shouldn't be.
M is advisory. MA is restricted. I think that's the difference. So, like, a child can go to an M-rated thing, I believe, without a parent. It's fine. Just like, hey, we recommend this for 15 plus. Whereas MA is like, you have to be 15 plus. Like, it's illegal to.
I'll tell you what, Deadpool and Wolverine was MA plus, and I saw a lot of 15 little kiddies in there.
Like, I was, and I think I've told this story before. Like, I was asked for ID to go to an MA15 movie when I was like in my early 20s.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to.
Yeah, it is. You're either supposed to be with a guardian. You're either supposed to be with a guardian purchasing the tickets or at the movie.
They have to be with the movie at you, I think, is the whole
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It's the same as, like, I think a kid could buy an M-rated game in this world, so it won't make that big of a difference, I think. But if it was MA or R, and R's the other classification that affects it, then a kid can't buy it without, like, the adult has to buy it. The adult can buy it for the kid, of course, but
yeah, I think they could have done something more, whether it's, you know, I think you just, if you wanted to actually make a fundamental change, you'd have to do it on the programming side, whether it's restricting sales to only over 18s or disabling, like, loot boxes for anybody under 15 or 18. That kind of stuff, which it's a big ask and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like just tying it into the base classification system, it's nearly just too much is in this sandwich, and it gets a bit weird at this point. And like the examples that is given in that Vox article, where it's like, hey, under this new classification, these games will be classified that way. I'm like, well, that's ridiculous.
Like, technically, Pokemon could be rated MA.
Well, it's not technically. It's like under their legislation, and I just looked on their FAQ page that they're like, yep. They given it FAQs like, if an RPG only contains gambling in a very small part, like, it makes it sound like the FAQ question is Pokemon without saying it. They're like, if the RPG only contains this as a very small part of the game, would it still need to be classified that? And they say, yep. So weird, like, wild. Yeah. If that's the way it's going to go down, obviously that's ridiculous. Which is
like, for example, you're playing Astrobot. There's that level, the casino level, right?
Yeah, but you're not actually doing anything, right?
Yeah, but there's the slots. There's a slot machine there. If you hit at the right time, then it matches up.
Yeah.
Would that be classified?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Dumb.
Well, it's just like things that, like, you know, games have had to change things because of perceived drug abuse, drug use and stuff like that in games, and bits and pieces where they've had to either change things or make it more friendly in Australia. Like, fucking, yeah, it's weird.
Well, we've always been 10 steps behind with video game ratings here. The fact we had to tell them to add the R18 plus rating, and that was such a huge moment.
Which they still don't use properly.
Which I still don't use properly, correct? So, yeah, we have, and apparently will always continue to be on struggle street. Now, I would, just to clarify, I think like better classifications for so parents and whatever guardians can understand how and what these things are and what video games. I'm all for. I just think I would say that this is a terrible implementation. That's where I fall on it.
No, I would say more information, like actually give the stats as to what loot boxes, odd rates, drop rates are. Mandatory across the board, you know, that kind of stuff.
They do that on cards now, like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon now tell you like one in what will require. You know, like it's a lot like than 10.
Clear, like you understand. You're more informed to make a decision.
Yeah,
you know, even fucking the blind box pop things that are a bigger deal at the moment.
Mm.
They do the same thing. Like NRL or AFL trading cards do the same thing. Should be standard.
All right. I added in a quick story because I only found out about it today. But apparently in Hobart next week, or this coming Saturday when listening to this, Friday and Saturday, there's a Level Up Tasmania video game showcase happening. And I was like, when the fuck did this get announced? Anyway, it was all the way back in July. And the fact that I was shocked as I wrote my new piece here. I live in Tasmania and I write and read about games weekly, yet I didn't know the new showcase of local video games is happening next weekend. Like, what the fuck is going on with that is what I'd like to say. Anyway, the event, the first of its kind, is happening in Hobart next week. I'm trying to organize my life to see if I can get down there to have a look-see. But it is happening.
Dylan, as if you're not going to go to an event you finally don't have to get on a plane to go to.
Yeah, I'm still going to try and organize my cookies to, like, maybe if I'd had more time to find. Anyway,
you've had this July.
I would have if I knew since about it from July. I found out about it about 12 hours ago. So that's the world I'm living in. So it will occur Friday and Saturday. It's at the Princess Wharf in Hobart. They're setting up 30 plus games there. It says it's all Tassie games, but I think it's just as long as there's a Tasmanian developer involved in the development studio. So I'm just gonna splatter off what's listed on the exhibitors page on the website. Rain Absolute Digital Edition, Adam Walken Studio, Ghost Can Skate, Alex Taylor, The Owl, the Thief and Strawberries by Ben Phillips, Arthur Snake, Slurp and Cheese Nest, Escape from Moon Factory, Kayleen Trello, Dark Umbra, Crypt Rat Studios, Broken Roads, Drop Bear Bites, Party Poppers, Joke Margarita, Party Golf Mobile, Joke
That's
Margarita.
cool.
That's cool. Melbourne Route 96, Lindsay Mansfield, Letters to Arella, Little Pink Clouds, Cult of the Lamb, Massive Monster, Crip Mental, Michael Dacey, Gravity Flux, Motley Pixels, Light Haze Worldwide Radio Bush, Night in the Woods by Secret Lab and Infinite Fall, I Feel Fine by Secret Lab, Hole in the Clouds, Shortbread Games, Packed by Shortbread Games, AFK by Sean Hatton, Sun Parasites by Simon Weber, Shapeverse by Smash Attack Studios, Null Star Soulless by Smash Attack Studios, Stray Gods by Summerfall Studios, Phantom Abyss by Team Wibby, Planes of Havoc by Tiny Island Games, Bilkins Folly by Webisoft, and Obliterator X by Webisoft, and more. Very cool, I think. Now, this is I put the quote I got from Madeline Ogilvy in the announcement from July. Says the 3-day event aims to raise the profile of Tasmanian made games and their developers in the community and on the national stage. The Tasmanian government's 2030 strong plan for Tasmania's future includes a $500,000 investment into the Tasmanian game development sector, with funding from this going to the Level Up Showcase. They say 3, so Saturday, 12 and 5 p.m. is the day 1 of the event. Day 2, it's the same thing both days, to clarify. Saturday is 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, the third day, Sunday, is a industry event that also looks very well. It's open to anyone. You don't have to prove yourself. It's just to clarify, industry focused. So that runs from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. at the end of the day, but that's got a panel with people like who do I see on here? It's got a bunch of people, but they had Meredith Hall and Liam Esler from Summerfall Games, both there talking and stuff like that. Bunch of other developers, Jacob Janeka from who's doing the Dungeon Experience. It looks cool, like a legit. I know you were like, oh, Tassie Festival, surely this will be fucking trash. Dylan's chucking in Tasmanian bullshit. But it legit, I think, looks
I don't think we said that.
I saw it on Kieran's face. I think it looks pretty cool, to be honest. Would have been great if I knew about it ages ago. All I'm going to say is my email is in my Twitter bio, and do you
say you're from Tasmania in your Twitter bio?
Yes.
I don't know. Listen, I've had the same problem. There's a Brisbane gaming event that they hold once a year. No advertising, barely. Didn't know until a couple of weeks before, and then I'm already scheduled for work. So
yeah, fucking ridiculous. So yeah, I'll try and get down to that. It's about two and a bit hour drive, but
Oh, a 2 and a bit hour drive. It's so hard. Oh,
it's only 1 hour flight to Melbourne, so I mean, it's coming.
Yeah, but 1 hour at the airport and then delays, and they lose my luggage, and Whatever the fuck.
What you're saying is you're excited for your trip in a couple of weeks.
I am excited for my trip in a couple of weeks. Yes.
How crazy is it that Nintendo and Xbox and PlayStation still haven't announced for PAX?
Now, do you actually think they're gonna? I don't think so.
Xbox will be the same shit. Xbox will be the same shit they did last year. There's kind of a bunch of.
I'll be shocked
Xboxes.
if Nintendo at least isn't there.
No, Nintendo will be.
They
Yeah, they
haven't been
will be.
announced as one of the partners.
They haven't been announced. The
Oh.
thing. So we were talking about this last weekend. So Nintendo's not there, and the theory is that they might not be because they just did that event in Sydney.
But I thought they were doing that event. I thought the rumor was that they were bringing that event to PAX.
No.
Oh.
That's
I don't
just
know,
what
but
you want.
They're bringing the Zelda game, right?
Makes sense.
Or is
Yeah.
that already out? They've got somebody doing a panel about it.
Yeah, that's not.
I'll believe they'll be there until they show what the floor map is.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt, PlayStation won't be there. PlayStation just flat out won't be there because that's what PlayStation does lately. Xbox will be there, but only in the terms of they'll have a giant section.
No, they've got
for
Bethesda
Game
there. That
Pass.
counts.
Yeah, but they'll also have a giant section for Game Pass.
For PC,
And-
they did say Game Pass for PC will be there.
Yeah, like that'll just be there,
Not
but there
Xbox,
won't be
PC.
anything. Yeah, Xbox
feel
is
like-
a PC.
I mean, they have to get.
Less than 3 weeks away, guys.
Yeah, like just to clarify, it's very soon. So,
Hmm.
I was about to say when's the I don't know if just to quickly go over it, but the exhibitor list I was trying to quickly find. Anyway, there's a bunch of fucking people there. Eh? You've also, here we go. Who were the last ones I announced? Bethesda Softworks, Blizzard, Devolver, Final Fantasy. It says PC Game Pass. Sure.
Yeah.
PlaySide Studios, Sega, Steam is the one that everyone's
Confused about.
confused about. The Sims and Ubisoft.
Steam announcing the Steam Deck.
Steam Deck OG coming to
I
Australia.
have breaking news. I forgot to bring up.
Oh!
I should have my Steam Deck arriving tomorrow.
Oh my God! Let's go. The Rock
Why?
is going in the bin.
What?
So
Roggers didn't catch on enough to when it goes Steam Deck?
I got annoyed at this battery life. No, and then I saw that they had a EB game. EB games. eBay had like the 20% off code. It got down to like $7.99 or some shit like that. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
Fuck it. Rip it and ship it.
Yeah. So that says it's arriving tomorrow. So that should be good. And then they'll announce it at PAX. They'll be like, it's coming to Australia now. I'll be like, fuck, I could have got a warranty. And then they'll be like, yeah, it's 3 times the price you paid. And I'm like, haha. Well, no, it's I'm good. That tax hurt me. All right. The first Nintendo Switch 2 photos might have just leaked. Right, let's press start. Photos of what appears to be an updated Nintendo Switch matching all the previous leaks of the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 have appeared online. Obviously, we're getting to the point where leaks will be ramping up in the Nintendo Switch 2 as production is rumored to have begun. But equally, we'd expect fake images to increase as well. So whilst below images might match everything else we've seen, it's worth noting to be cautious. And I have nothing to say about these other than really, even though like people have been talking about these photos all week, I looked at them and went, that looks like a Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
That looks like what a Nintendo Switch would look like. Hey,
It's like it looks exactly like it, except they've shrunk the bezel a little bit.
So Shannon continues. The photos show off a larger Nintendo Switch, which is rumored to have an 8-inch screen. There's a USB-C port at the top and the bottom, which has long been requested for charging when in tabletop mode. And it says the updated Nintendo Switch Joy-Con 2s, which are rumored to connect via magnets, appear to have bigger side buttons. As far as the specs go, it's rumored to have 12 gigs of RAM, 256 SSD, as well as HDMI 2.1 out support. Would that be okay with you, Kieran? If that rumor turned out to be true?
If that rumor is true, then yeah, it's good. Finally, thank fuck for that. But I'm not getting my hopes up because it's fucking Nintendo and these are fucking rumors.
Why not?
Because I can't.
Would you buy
Look.
it if that was the? Were you gonna?
That certainly looks like an SSD slot, SD card slot to me.
Get out of here, Ashley. Get
Did you
the
say
fuck out of
SD?
here.
I took my headphones off for 2 seconds.
He
to plug in
did
this
say it
charging
looks like an
cord,
SD
and
slot.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, micro SD. Okay.
Yes. No, but I would almost be impressed with Nintendo. No, I'm not even impressed with Nintendo because it's just the fucking basic standard of what they should be doing at this point.
When do you reckon this gets announced? We keep talking about this, but I swear to God, I am at the point where
The thing is, I feel like it's too late this year to announce this.
I'm going to say this gets announced before PAX.
No, they already said it's not going to be Q1 next year. It's going to come out Q4.
Not.
You wait till after Christmas.
Yeah, because I think it's going to be like Nintendo's a fucking sucker for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo loves having their new console out just before Christmas, and it's too late. It's too late for this year's Christmas for.
Got to get that last bunch of Switches out the door this Christmas.
Yeah, exactly right. Like it's
this bunch of kids will be upset that they get a Switch 2 when the Switch 2 is announced late next year.
Kids don't know what a Switch 2 is. They want a PS4. They want a PS5 Pro.
Announced December 26th.
That would be ridiculous. What are you talking about?
That'd be hilarious.
That'd be crazy. That would ruin Boxing Day sales. They're not.
That's true. That's fair. Probably January 2nd then.
No, that's New Year's sales. You fucking idiot.
There's no New Year's sales. I don't care about New Year's.
There's always
sales.
fucking sales on this other thing. So I don't know what the hell you.
Look, they're just trying to get rid of
Boxing Day, Christmas, Easter sales. Then there's some other random shows. Trust me, I'm well aware there's always bloody sales on. Drum out the wall. All right. Goggles on, everyone. Netflix's Splinter Cell Death Watch animated series is coming soon, right, Gamer. The long-awaited animated adaptation of Ubisoft Splinter Cell Death Watch is coming soon. Netflix dropped the official announcement during Geek Week 24, and whilst it only clicks in at around a minute long, it gives us a first taste of what to expect when the show finally debuts on the streaming platform. We see her. Don't be afraid. Darkness is a good thing, says a gravelly voice as animated night vision goggles sink into the water. We then see an older, grey-haired man similarly sink beneath the surface of water and cut to a covered coffin. The name blazoned across it, beloved father. What do we reckon?
I reckon that the casting of Leif Schreiber as Sam Fisher is like fucking perfect. Oh, the gravel in his voice. Oh, like it was. It's good shit. They, as Ash tweeted out, they missed out upon a black screen and 3 green dots appearing in it. But it's a good teaser trailer. Let's hope for good shit because Netflix have done some great stuff with their video game properties in animated form.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much my sentiment, missed opportunity. But, save that for the video game. It's been a thing. It's been our meme for several years. So when we finally get that Game Awards reveal of whatever Splinter Cell game they're working on over at Ubisoft, you probably just say, here's a Splinter Cell trailer. It'll be
so annoying that. Is it sort of annoying for fans of this franchise that they've got this coming out, but we're having a game for so long? Like,
no, because I think attention on this would like further push for them to make another game.
Mm-hmm. Although I don't know how much of a push has there been for a Castlevania game.
They always put Castlevania games out. People just play them. They put one out every couple of years.
Don't they just keep re-releasing Symphony of the Night?
Probably. They just remaster.
They just put out a...
Everybody loves a remaster of a game, so that's fair.
Yeah, as long as it's played at 60 frames per second.
See?
And if not, she put it on the PS5 Pro because it'll play there. Am I right?
Oh my God. Fucking PS5 Pro.
Like a Dragon Pirate Ikusa in Hawaii has been revealed alongside an epic collector's edition, writes Presto. The latest Like a Dragon game has been revealed and to take the franchise to the seas in Like a Dragon Pirate Ikusa in Hawaii. That is the full title of the game. I'm not adding things. It is called Like a Dragon Pirate Ikusa in Hawaii. The game will release on February 28th, 2025 on PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. It's an action-adventure game starring Goro Majima. Majima? Yeah. Following a story-wise from Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Majima. The game will let you go between locations such as Hawaii, an isolated island called Rich Island, and a ship graveyard called Madlantis. It'll let players jump for the first time in battles, and it wouldn't be a what? It'll let players jump for the first time in battles. Oh, jump in battles.
Jump.
Right. Like literally jump in battles. Okay. And it wouldn't be a lad game without mini games. And there's a karting mini game called Dragon Kart, as well as another crazy delivery mini game. Ash, how excited are you for this?
I mean, I'm pretty keen. I mean, it is just so ridiculous that, suddenly he forgot all his memory and he becomes a pirate because, of course, he becomes a pirate. He's got an eye patch, Well, the thing that throws me is it's set 6 months after the most recent Like a Dragon
Infinite Wealth.
Mm-hmm. So it's modern day. But they got fucking 1980s or 1800s pirate ships. 10 out of 10. But yeah, there's probably going to be don't go into this expecting Infinite Wealth length. It's going to be a shorter game, probably.
It's going to be 50 hours.
Something. Well, I'd say 10 to 15. Like a man who raised his name is probably more like that.
Wasn't that like a 10 to 15 hour playtime? Yeah.
Probably something similar. Seems like it's going to have a crazy story that's picking up from the Infinite Wealth, or at least tied in some way. But yeah, looks cool. More action heavy. Obviously, they're reusing a fair number of assets they've done in the last game. That's why they're able to turn these around so quickly. But yeah, I mean, Like a Dragon love is at its height at the moment, probably. So it's, I guess, smart to cash in. And yeah, I have to believe the title of the game sounds cooler in Japanese.
I just don't know how they keep fucking making these games so fast. It's wild. Well, I mean, same world map, whatever, sure, but it's still crazy the amount of Yakuza games. I
mean, not really. Let me have a quick check.
There's at least one a year. There's at least one a year. That's a lot.
Yeah, only in the last 3 years. So there was Like a Dragon Ishin, which was a remaster, and Like a Dragon, The Man Who Raised His Name last year. Infinite Wealth this year, and then Pirate Ikusa next year. And then before that, was 2020. It was the last Like a Dragon.
Yeah, but then COVID.
So like a 3 game.
Like they slowed down during COVID, and then after that, they're like, we're good.
I guess, they're a big studio.
Japan.
I'm thinking they're a reasonably big studio. If they get their own freaking press conference every single year now. So
I forgot
they're 300 plus employees. So
I forgot to put it in the notes, but what do you think? They also had that teaser trailer with the same character for that.
I didn't watch it.
Oh,
but it looks like him. So
yeah, I watched it. I was like, this looks wild. Sure. I mean, the character's yelling and screaming a lot, and
it's only a month away, so I'm very keen. So
he doesn't have an eye patch in most of the trailer, but then in the poster or whatever
he does,
he has an eye patch. So I don't know.
It'd be one of those tension things where you wait to see how
he gets an eye patch.
No, I don't. I'm a late comer to the series, so
it's in Majima.
Yeah.
Happens in Yakuza 0, I believe.
Well, that's what
because that's his origin story with Kazuya. Is it Kazuya? No, Kazuya's Tekken.
Kazuma. I think. Or Kiryu.
Kiryu, that's it. Sorry. Yeah, Kiryu.
What?
But yeah, ridiculous. The kid's got a pet tiger.
Fucking
I swear that honestly, every time I see Yakuza stuff, I'm like, these are the games I wish I had more time for. Yeah.
Infinite Wealth, one of the best games of the year. If you started playing it a month ago, you might finish it by the end of the year.
It's true. All right, final story for the week. VG247 Power Wheel developer Pocket Pair is being sued by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company.
Finally.
It's actually happening. Power Wheel developer Pocket Pair released release has had a lawsuit filed against it by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, with the pair companies alleging that the game infringes multiple health patent rights. If you're out of loop, back when Power World had its initial surge of popularity early in the year, it attracted allegations of ripping off Pokemon, mostly in relation to its character design / models. Things got even as far as the Pokemon Company issuing a statement on the matter. And then update to the story, it says here, Pocket Pair has issued a statement on the lawsuit filing via Powerword's official Twitter account. It reads as follows. Yesterday, a lawsuit was filed against our company for patent infringement. We have received notice of this lawsuit and will begin the appropriate legal proceedings and investigations into the claims of patent infringement. At this moment, we are unaware of the specific patents we are accused of infringing upon, and we have not been notified of such details. Pocket Pair is a small indie game company based in Tokyo. Our goal as a company has always been to create fun games. We'll continue to pursue this goal because we know that our games bring joy to millions of gamers around the world. Powerword was a surprise success this year, both for gamers and for us. We were blown away by the amazing response to the game that we've been working hard to make it for even better for our fans. We will continue improving Powerword and strive to create a game that our fans can be proud of. It is truly unfortunate that we will be forced to allocate significant time to matters unrelated to game development due to this lawsuit. However, we will do our utmost for our fans to ensure that indie game developers are not hindered or discouraged from pursuing their creative ideas. We apologize to our fans and supporters for any worry or discomfort that this news has caused. As always, thank you for your continued support of Power World and Pocket Pair. Now, I think it's very obvious that in this statement, they're trying to garner sympathy by being this, small indie company, that Nintendo's the big dog suing them, that they're gonna stand up for the little guy, that they have absolutely no fucking clue. Like, their game's nothing like Pokemon. How could this? What could they even begin to point at? It would be saving. Anyway, sorry that this is causing our fans to get super depressed and sad, but that blame big dog Nintendo for that. Sucks that that's happened. Anyway, it's so funny. Apparently the patent is Pokeballs, is what the report from around the globe is at the moment. That the specific patent that Nintendo is targeting is Pokeballs.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy. Considering
That's the word on the street.
I was waiting for it to be like the meshes of the characters, because it was data mined that the digital grid meshes underneath the character models were like 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an element of legal advice that Nintendo has been provided. And I'm sure that's why it's taken so long. They've been trying to find
I feel like
a foolproof, inarguable slam dunk case.
I wonder what the patent for Pokeball is.
I don't know.
Like,
we'll find out.
Like, I'd love to know what the description for the patent is, because it's like.
Well, yeah, the other word that I've seen thrown around is capture. So a ball that's thrown that captures.
So okay, so why didn't they sue like Ape Escape and stuff? Like Ape Escape had a ball that you threw. There was a net, but there was also a ball. There was a ball in one of the Ape Escapes that you threw to capture.
I'd assume like how significant of the major part of the gameplay is it would affect their care factor.
And also, they didn't have a bunch of Pokemon-like creatures in their game,
but
they were trying to find something.
They're not being sued about that, though. They're I don't know.
They're trying to find the thing that they can pin down.
To be clear, the statement they put out said it infringes multiple patent rights. So, but it's the Pokeball one I've only seen people talking about. So, what the rest are could be to do with the design.
Could be heaps of stuff. Yeah.
The thing is, I find it very funny that it has taken this long for it to happen.
As Ash said, I totally believe the reason is that Nintendo was slowly in the background working on this, and then
they came up with a statement, said they were working on it ages ago.
They said they were looking into it.
Yeah.
I think the moment Nintendo sues you, they've won. I think
the second their Sauron's eye makes its way to you, you're fucked.
Yeah, I think that they weren't going to start it until they knew they could win it. So, and that's what I would believe.
But then again, like if it's patent infringement, isn't it just a case of it'll just like they'll just change? Like all it is up to the Pocket Pair to just change it in the game?
I don't know. I don't know how Japanese copyright law works.
I don't know either. Yeah, that's the hard part. But
And
the
are
thing
they?
is,
Will
if
they
you're-
sue? Are they suing them in Japan, or are they suing them somewhere else?
no,
in
they're
the world?
showing them in Japan.
in
Okay.
Japan?
Yeah.
The thing is, right? If you're Pocket Pair, do you currently give a fuck?
I
like,
would.
like
I
if
would
it's
take Nintendo suing me serious if I was.
No,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to come for
No,
damages.
But
Yeah.
the thing is,
Pretty.
But the thing is, you've already you've made your money. You have made.
And Nintendo are going to come and take it all.
The thing is, I don't see Nintendo taking it all.
No, they will. Nintendo will
They'll
go
take
for
a
the money.
fair portion.
Nintendo doesn't do it for the money. They do it to prove a point. They've done this time
Yeah.
and time again.
I just don't think.
How many emulators have they shut down?
Yeah. There was that one last week, I think. They sued for like fucking 15.
But the thing
million.
is, that's the thing is, I feel like they move so quickly on everything else. They move so quickly on emulators and striking.
I think
channels
they-
and
I mean,
they-
those are
they-
pretty easy to shut.
Yeah,
go.
I think
They're
they've
literally
shut down
playing our game without paying us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think it's. I don't know. I think if you're Pocket Pair, you. It's almost like any good publicity is good publicity. I think for them, they're at a point where they're like, you know what? We've had a great 6 to 8 months of this game. If Nintendo finally have turned up, because you've got it right. There's no fucking way Pocket Pair released this game without knowing this was going to happen.
Mm.
There's no fucking way that Pocket Pair released Power
They're
World
completely blindsided by this.
without knowing Nintendo's going to come for us at some point.
It's like shock Pikachu face, but they can't use that. So
Because I think the only thing I didn't love about Pocket Pair was you pulling the fucking small indie developer card. I was like, come on, guys, fuck off with that one. You're not fucking fighting the man. You're not standing up for all the other indie companies. You're just fucking caught at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's no.
So what do you think? Pocket Pair just pull the plug on Power World?
I don't know if they
Go.
pull the plug. I think they maybe take it down for a little while, put in maybe do what they have to do to replace stuff like his Jimmy Fix. But I think they're happy to work on their next project. I think they're happy to move on and work on their next thing. I think Power World is.
I don't know. This whole game is successful because
it's a Pokemon like.
No, but now they know. But the thing is, now that they have.
Now they know they need to be sneakier.
Now players are.
aware of them. I don't
Yeah,
know. Are
now
they? Would
players
people
are
know
aware
that-
of
Do you
would
do you
know
think
the
people would
developers
actually know the name Pocket Pair?
The thing is, right? If you release on the next game, if you release if your trailer says from the creators of Power World on it, you are completely. I think you're in a better spot than you ever were prior to that.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to make a massive difference.
No, I think
I don't think it's not like from the makers of The Last
I
of Us,
think-
you know?
because I think there is enough people in the communities, there is enough audience base at the moment of people that are, I won't say angry at Nintendo, but have that feeling of, well, Power World has given me the game that I've always wanted Nintendo to make. And now that they've done that, it's like you've now won over more audience share for yourself to release the next game to.
Kind of dropped off though.
It did, but at the same time, that's a lot of these games.
That's every game.
It is, but
That's a lot of these style of action.
Every game.
But that's the
except
thing.
Grand Theft Auto,
That's part of the reason why I don't think they give a fuck that Nintendo's turned up now. That's not that don't give a fuck. They care, but I think it's very different if Nintendo had turned up at
Day
the
one.
height, day one, at the height of its. But also the thing is, and I will say this: yes, it may take them time to search through. I think it's also very convenient for Nintendo to wait the 6 to 8 months to come with this lawsuit, because the negative view or the backlash that Nintendo would have faced by slapping this lawsuit at the height of Power World's power, at the height of its popularity, would have been way worse. And there would have
That's
been
true.
way more audience resentment towards Nintendo because of it. So I think waiting the 6 months.
I agree, but I don't think they waited for any other reason than building.
I don't think they purposely waited it. I just think it is very convenient that it is. Like, it is in their benefit to wait a while for.
Benefit, but
yeah, it's 100%.
Yeah, so Power could get all those sales. They got more money to get.
But yeah, be interesting to see how it plays out. But Nintendo usually, like, they sue,
They win.
That's how it works.
Yeah, I don't recall a case of Nintendo losing a case.
No, they're it's. I mean, it's part because people always like to talk shit, but like, I definitely think it's like that Japanese thing too. They're very protective of
their stuff,
their shit. Yeah, so. Two games I want to talk about before we wrap up today's episode. So the first one's an early access review I've done, and the one is a full game that's coming out. So Drill Core, I've played about 10 hours of this, I think. Gave it a double thumbs up as far as the early access review, which means I would recommend picking this up in early access. It's from Tiny Build, the publisher, developers Hungry Couch Games. It's definitely an Ash game, is the direction I'd point this in. It is a game in which you start on a platform, you have 4 dudes, you drill down into the planet, and you go down on the platform, and there's sort of 2 sections to it. It'll go from day to night time. During day, you use your mouse and you hold down, you can select a bunch of blocks. The driller dudes will get down there and they'll start drilling into shit. Like different types of minerals and whatever drop out of them. You've got another type of person that'll go collect those and they'll jetpack them back up to your base platform. And then there's another type of dude you have that carries a machine gun to protect from would-be bugs and aliens that pop out while you're down there to protect them. You then use the materials you get to be able to buy and upgrade stuff for your base. So from the outset, this is pretty straightforward. It's like the amount of materials you start each run with. You can build like a barracks, which would enable you to buy more dudes to do stuff, or like another sort of resource source that over time just gradually gives you resources. But as the game goes on, you can get other stuff that randomly shoots blocks below. You can buy upgrades that allow you to get through blocks or tougher blocks faster, like all sorts of things. But then what happens is when the game switches to nighttime, every couple minutes, then creatures from above you start attacking. And at this point, the game is now like a tower defense game. So you place turrets on different little areas, not wherever you want, but there's specific areas where you can place turrets, and you have to place them around to protect your base, because they'll come down and they'll attack. They won't kill your little dudes, weirdly. That might make the game a bit too hard, but they will continue shooting the platform, and if it takes enough damage, game over. So what it becomes is this balancing act between, as you get resources and you want to be able to dig deeper and deeper into the and get further and further into the ground to get more stuff, you then have to balance how much you want to how much of those resources you want to use on buying like turrets and even higher powered like turrets like rocket launchers and stuff to protect you when night comes, or even when a big fuck off boss spider type thing comes. Or do you want to invest those things so you can mine faster or protect you from things that happen when you're going? So it's like this weird mix of a bunch of different genres, and it's very addictive. My 10 hours I spent with it sort of appeared out of nowhere, to be honest, because it is a roguelike. So you finish a run and you go, for fuck's sake, I died. You go back to the main menu. You can then upgrade, get some permanent upgrades, and go into research. You can also then, before the start of a run, select like 2 different cards. I think I'm just calling them cards, but they're like things that are like, you will unlock this thing if you do this objective in your run. And that means that randomly throughout your run, as you sort of get experience, it'll give you like 3 different options that you get to pick from. So it might be like a power up to use during nighttime that lets you like select somewhere with your mouse and use a machine gun. So direct heavy duty fire, which is really good for like bosses and clearing webs. One of the other things you might have is an upgrade for your laboratory, so you can upgrade all your dudes. And then another one might be a daytime power that enables you to superpower all your dudes, so they work extra faster for like a minute or some shit like that. So even when stuff like that happens, you have to go, well, which upgrade do I really need right now? Which am I struggling most at nighttime when the dudes come from above me, or am I struggling to make efficient mining during the nighttime? So yeah, I think it's got two. Yeah, it's got 2 maps currently in the early access part. It's got 3 different difficulties. You unlock, you get different sorts of resources depending on what difficulty you play on, and then those resources are used to like unlock the permanent upgrades. It has a sly little type of humor. The trailer is really funny. It has like this like live action dude like talking, like there is an element of this game is about a bunch of corporate company just drilling into the planet, and then these aliens are trying to protect their planet. So really you're the bad guy, but anyway, it's fine. We need shit. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I would recommend this. I think it's really fun. I've enjoyed it too much to the point that I could easily keep playing it, but I'm like, no, I've got other shit I need to do during my day and life. I had to pick a time where I was like, I'll do one more run, and then I'm gonna start writing my review. Like I was like, I need to like just step away from it. But yeah, I know if I don't think you would have seen this before, Ash. It sort of showed up out of nowhere for me, but this is definitely a U game. And if you're interested, I think there might be another code in the inbox. I'm not sure.
Okay, I just wish listed it, so
Okay.
wait
I might be able to,
down the line.
might be able to help you out. Yes, very good. And then another game is the Australian game I reviewed, Copycat, which was at PAX last
It's
year.
a PAX Rising game.
It was a PAX Rising game for last year, yeah. Played it there about the first 20 or so minutes, I think it was. But I enjoyed it. I would say, hold on, what would I say? I said held back by some clunky elements and tedious design elements. This is still a narrative we're sinking your claws into. It's good. I think the narrative, it's obviously, what was, I think I called it like a Paul Walker. I don't know. I was trying to make a pun, but it's very obvious that it's sort of like it wants to be like a walking sim type game, but you play as a cat. Like they're trying to tell this story, and I enjoyed the story, and I think the narrative element is the high point, but the video game part's the weak point, which sort of sucks. But you start the game. This Olive is this older lady, and at the start of the game, she picks out this cat called Dawn. And Dawn is and looks exactly like her old cat Dawn, which has just recently disappeared. So she's called you after her cat that she just lost, which is already weird. But anyway, then at the start of the game, you do a bunch of these little mini games, which is what we played at PAX, where you sort of build this relationship with her. And then it gets to a point in the game where Dawn has a health issue, and then you end up like separated and stuff, and you do end up outside the house. It's like a 2-hour game, so it's sort of hard to talk about without spoilers. But also throughout all of it, Dawn is, she's a cat who wishes she was a wild animal. The voiceover is this nature person talking about what wildcats like to do, and tigers and lions and whatever the hell else, panthers and shit. And whenever the cat falls asleep, you play this little mini game of running through the, I don't know, African wild lands or something like that. It's all very funny. You do these sly mini games where Olive will come over and attempt to play with the cat toy with you, and then straight away Dawn is like imagining it as this fish, in the stream, and she's capturing this fish and stuff. So that's funny. The relationship over the course of 2 hours between Dawn and Olive, I thought is definitely the strong point. This old lady is, you feel bad for her, and you feel bad for the cat by the end of it too. They go through a lot, the two of them. But my downside, there's just the gameplay I found very clunky. The animations were. I remember when we played it at PAX, I was like, oh yeah, this is pretty, like, the animations aren't great, but it's still got some time before it'll come out and whatever else. You don't think too much of it. I don't think they changed too much between this and the full release. So that is definitely my downside. You leap onto objects and it's just this weird, like, sort of way that the animation happens, and it's quite choppy at times when it's just as you race around corners, and there's a weird point where the game makes you do a bunch of platforming, and it is not a game built for platforming. It becomes very frustrating because the jumping is just fucking ridiculous. But there's still that element of it's a game made by two people, so it's like they're wearing 6 different hats here between the two of them, and you get to the end of the game, it shows the credits, like they've done, it's 2 people in charge of, one person in charge of art and code, the other one doing narrative, then the 2 of them running the studio, and someone else did the music. Good for them. So it's good effort. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I think if you love cats, if you're like a cat, not a dog person, you'll really, really enjoy it anyway. I'd say that the narrative is the standout here, but just be aware that the gameplay is a bit clunky at times. All right. And just before Kieran Thought was wrapping up, one thing I'll talk about is to be fair, I did see you playing this on Steam the other day. I was like, I see. Someone has joined the horde. 40K Space Marine 2. I talked about it last week. I'd been talking about this game, I think, for the last couple of weeks, and just being like, man, I really want to play that. And I did. And it's really fun. I still haven't finished it, but
Dylan
really
got
fun.
the FOMO first,
I did get the FOMO first, that's true. And now Kieran's got the FOMO. So how far are you into this? And what are you thinking?
Probably like the 5th or 6th mission.
I think you
I'm enjoying it. It's great. It's really it's good fun. On PC, the controls are really fucking weird, so it did take me a little bit
keyboard, I assume.
Keyboard and mouse, but yeah, like it's like right click for your melee. You've got to, if you want to aim down the sights, or just even like aim with your gun, you have to like press in the mouse wheel to aim with your gun.
It's that thing.
There isn't some sort of button mapping or something in the game.
Oh yeah, no, I've remapped a lot of it just to make sense.
Even on console or with control, it's a bit weird, and it's that thing of, it's a game that has all these things. It's like it wants to do this like melee system where you're able to parry and dodge, and then like have a third person shooter as well. And it's like,
yeah, no, 100%. Playing it does make me want Gears of War real fucking badly, because it is very similar to Gears of War, probably with some of the testosterone taken out of it. But
that said, I totally agree, and I said the same thing. But it's funny because I think it's a very aesthetic plus a feel, like the heaviness, but the game has no cover. And Gears of War is a cover shooter.
Yes, exactly, right? Yeah, 100%. I'm really enjoying playing it. It's nice to feel that weight in the hordes are very fun to wade through. There's some bits that I'm like, okay, this isn't balanced too great. There's like this whole section I've just played through with friends that are like, you need like a flamethrower to fight these like little critters.
Yeah, they're fucking annoying.
But it only gives you one flamethrower. So I get it to the aspect of teamwork. You're supposed to kind of remain next to the person with the flamethrower to keep them all at bay. But it was just a little frustrating that they never gave you another one.
I'm playing this whole game single player. Imagine doing that by yourself.
It was fun.
You're doing the flamethrower.
Because the flamethrower...
And then I kept having to switch my fucking weapon to shoot the enemies as well, because AI is not great. And I'm still having to quickly switch back to this flamethrower to get rid of these stupid fucking rats.
And it's funny because 40K, like especially like Warhammer and 40K, one of those hobbies that I've always been like interested in. Like I watch YouTube videos every now and then for different channels.
Do you want me to send you a 10-hour lore video I was being fallen asleep to?
Because I've been listening to some of them. Like it's just like, and I think some of it's really cool. Some of the like the fucking the space wolves and shit like that, fucking sick. But it's one against the hobby that I've erred on the side of no thank you, because I know I'd spend way too much money on it too quickly, and my OCD would not let me like kind of enjoy painting the figures because I'd want them to be too perfect, and learning that would be frustrating. So no, I think this has been a great way of exploring it with this game. Having more time to be able to jump in and play it and play it. And then also, I really like how they've incorporated the multiplayer PvE mode into the story. So when you get to different sections, they're like, oh, here's these 3 people. They're going to be running a mission alongside your mission to make it easier. Those are the missions you play in the multiplayer game afterwards. So where you get
or before, you can do them
all beforehand.
They're unlocked at the same time. You could actually play them before doing the story mission.
Yes, exactly. And like, there's different armor sets, different classes, different kind of abilities you can go for. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's one of the. It's very funny. This week, I felt like I don't know if for both of you, but I feel like there is a wealth of games all of a sudden because I'm like. I want to go finish Astrobot. I've still got a couple more hours of Astrobot to go play. I want to finish all of fucking Space Marines. Then I've got Deadlock that I'm like, man, I just want to get better at Deadlock and keep playing more rounds of Deadlock. Like I'm, and then I'm like,
I've got a bunch of games and I still want to buy Frostpunk 2. So
yeah, and then I'm looking at it, and then I'm, you know,
fuck yes. I mean,
I just downloaded it.
Okay, I'm downloading it now. Never mind.
And then it's like, you know, I know, you know, all the previews came out this week. I'm fucking super hyped for Dragon Age. Like, I'm super hyped for Dragon Age at the end of October. So it's like, by the end of October, I'm probably going to be putting everything to one side so I can just play through Dragon Age and actually finish that game and enjoy that game.
Will you be able to put down
Fantasia?
No.
Also, yes,
Deadlock.
Memento keeps popping up every now and then. I'm like, fuck, you're coming out.
Previews went up for it to the. Well, some people got some hands on, I think, or something.
So it's like, yeah, there's so many. I feel like all of a sudden this year I felt kind of, I don't know, a bit blah about games in general. Where I've like,
slow start.
No. Yeah, it's felt like all of a sudden there's all this shit that I'm like, I want to play. I want to play this.
Also,
I want to play this.
I would agree. Like, I've had I had a obviously massive thing happen in my job in November last year, and I've sort of been riding to a sense of normality, I think, for most of this year. I'm sort of settling out at the moment, last couple months, which is good. So that's affected, I think, my video game playing and also the amount of time I've been able to put to Explosion Network. But that's leveling out now, and I'm cool, and I'm coming to a sense of that where I'm trying to play a bit more games, trying to write a bit more, etc., stuff like that. But sort of writing off. But yeah, I would agree. There's a bunch of games out now that I'm yeah, I just want to play this stuff. And then also there's that element of the excitement leading into PAX, and then going to PAX always refills me with excitement for games anyway. So it's a good time of the year to be.
Even that, it feels like the PAX is getting closer and closer. Yeah, I feel like Blinken will be there. I was already looking at different bits and pieces for things I still have to organise for PAX weekend today, and I'm like, fuck, that's, we've got in Victoria, we've got a 4-day weekend this week.
Victorians always have a 4-day weekend every second weekend.
Well, yeah, it's a 3-day, 3-day weekend, 4-day week. 3-day weekend, 4-day work week. So I got that.
Sporting event, holiday.
Sporting event,
racing,
holiday.
Go Lions.
You know what? Sunday. Actually, I am an honorary Brisbane Lion for the next week.
I forgot to say that Tasmanian Games thing. The other thing is they said that they're going to have a massive screen playing the grand final there on Saturday because it's on the same day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so good for them.
But it's I think we're in such we've got such a good variety of games right now to play, and coming up to it, even for the rest of the year, yeah, Memento and Dragon Age probably be my big two. Being I need to play the shit out of both of them.
There's 200 hours.
Yeah, exactly right. Fuck me. I don't think Dragon Age is going to be bad. I will imagine. I don't know.
I'd say 50.
This is right. No, because the thing is,
30,
from the preview,
30, realistically, 30 to 50, depending on how hard you want to go.
So at the minute, what I've been hearing this week is
metaphor 100.
There's 3 acts of in Dragon Age, and everybody went to this preview event, played 7 hours of the game, and they all got told the 7 hours that they played is only a small portion of Act 1.
Yeah, but they only say that. You always take whatever. I feel like it's that you always. It's like you read an object, right? So you look at a phone or a device, and they say this thing can last 70 hours, and you go, cool, so it can last 15.
Yes,
because it's the same as you look at a vacuum. They'll say this vacuum can go for an hour, and then the asterisk says if you're running it on low mode.
Yeah.
You know, like it's always like
that's fair. No, and I get that, but yeah, no, I think games are going to be good, and I'm excited for PAX. I'm very excited for PAX, and it's going to be an interesting end of the year.
The other thing I don't really want to say, I haven't played enough to really talk about it, but I jumped into UFO 50, which
I was about to bring that up because I just realized it was out this week.
Yeah, and that's 50 fucking games. It's wild. I'd say the coolest thing so far, and I'll probably talk about it more next week if I hopefully get a chance to play it more. I'm jumping into the games in the order, like you can change the menu. So quickly, for the people who don't know, UFO 50 is 50 games made by a fictional studio. So the idea is like they've set out and said, we're going to make a game. We're going to make 50 games that don't exist, but pretend they're like from a fictional game studio. And some of them, so far, people, like, I haven't got to any that I'd say is mind-blowing, but I've seen some people talking about some ones online, like multiplayer ones that are apparently really good. But the thing that's really interesting to me so far is you play the first game and I go, this is not for me. This is just like whatever. But if you're playing them in release order, quote unquote, because it's fictional again, they literally have sequels to some games, and you can see like they've added progression. Like they've gone, this fictional developer, like on this game, they learn how to do this and they go to the next and do it. It is insane. Like it's very, very cool. Very cool idea, I think.
What's the name of the studio in the game?
Is it
UFO?
UFO.
Okay.
It's UFO. Yeah, that's it. UFO. The real developer is Mossmouth, who did
Splunky and stuff. Yeah, so
Splunky 1 and 2.
It looks very cool.
Yeah, so there's a lot of games out at the moment, including 50
games in one.
50 games.
And it's not like 50 mini games. It's like 50.
They're 50 full games. And also, I've been exploring that someone's made a UFO 50 Reddit, and I was scrolling through that before. People are finding secret games hidden inside each of the games, and it's just insanity. People are like, man, if you go to this level, it unlocks this whole other game. So there's more than 50 games, because now they've gone so meta to the point that they're like adding these weird hidden things in screens because they're really old games that unlock. It is. It's almost for $30. I feel like there's a lot in this fucking game, as I'm going to say. So, I'm glad I don't spend money off Frostpunk too, though. So that's installing now. Good save, Ash. All right. Final thing, quickly. Just shout out the other review that went up this week was Bakaru from Jacob wrote a review for that one. I didn't know anything about this. It just randomly showed up in the inbox, and I was like, do you want to play this? And he said, sure. He liked it though. So he gave it an 8.5. He said, I recommend this game to anyone, young or old, who enjoys 3D platformers with a few twists. I played this in the game entirely on Steam Deck, and it was a great companion game to bring with me, and it ran like a dream. So this is like I think it was a port or something, like it hadn't been released in the West before or something like that. But yeah, it's like a sort of throwback 3D platformer. Said it reminded me of all the sort of, the old school ones, boss battles, mini games, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I watched the trailer. I was like, I wouldn't play this. I would play this. Like this looks pretty fun. But that's cool. Check out his full review on explosionnetwork.com and the other things I mentioned: the Copycat, Drill Core,
Plucky Squire.
Yeah. Hey, I've done things.
You feel accomplished this week?
I feel accomplished this week. I do actually. I feel like I've done stuff. Which is good. Which is good for me. Good for my soul. Good for my mental health. All right. Thank you for listening. We, of course, you can find us on explosionnetwork.com. Explosionnetwork.com/Twitter takes you to a Twitter page. Explosionnetwork.com/support takes you to our coach page. All those sorts of things. And we'll be here next week. Same time, same couch. Goodbye.